Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother ISRAELITES from the Northern Kingdom, bringing some edification for you Negro, Latino, and Indigenous who are the biblical Israelites. And before we start, we want to begin and give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, Rakakadash, that Yahweh, being the name of the Lord, not Jehovah, or God, or Yah, or Ahaya, it's Yahweh, the creator of all, the Ancient of Days. Bahasham is in the name of, and Yahweh Shai is the one you guys call Jesus or the Christ, ignorantly speaking. And we give double honors to elders in GMS where we learn this truth. Shalom to the apostles, the bishops, and to the men down in the highways and byways, giving the 100% truth. Shalom to you. The date today is May 24th of 2025, our hopeful year of salvation and the destruction of the nation of Edom. The question I want to post is salvation promised to all the nations? Right? Because we know that everlasting salvation was only promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which Jacob had 12 sons, and his name became Israel. Okay, and that promise only went to the 12 tribes. Didn't go to anybody else. The church is not the 12 tribes. The church is not the congregation or the body. Okay, that's nowhere in the scriptures. It cannot be proven. Okay, because that promise only was given to those people, and that's a blood covenant. Okay, a blood in, blood out covenant given to the seed of the children of Israel. Okay, so we're gonna go and find out and give you now it does read, okay, I'm not gonna twist words, it does read saved or salvation for the other nations, but let's see if it really is meant, because remember, they've could have used different words. I would have used a better word to say preserved, right? Because let's say you have a lamb, okay, the lamb goes astray, and finally you find it, and it fell in a hole or something, right? And you save it. You're like, whew, I found that lamb. And now it's saved, right? Well, you were going to get that lamb to barbecue it on the weekend. Now, is that lamb really saved? It is saved for your convenience, okay? And that's how we'll lead. It's saved for our convenience. So it might read saved or salvation, but then let's see, why is it saved or why is it preserved? And if it's going to get the same salvation as the 12 tribes. Now, that's the question. Will the other nations have the same salvation of the nation of Israel? And that's a no. Okay? Because we're not going to be the same. And I'm going to prove that. So let's start with Revelation 21 and 24. And the nations of them which are saved. Remember, these are the nations outside the nation of Israel. This is after the second coming of the Messiah, after the destruction of Babylon, aka America. This is what's going to be happening afterwards. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. So here it's speaking very general. Why? Because it's already mentioned in the Old Testament. So why, if you mentioned it already in a letter and you're going to reiterate it again? No, I already mentioned it. You know what I'm talking about. But Christians don't know what they're talking about. They have never read the Old Testament. And if they have, they really don't have understanding to put this together. Okay? Because who's going to get the understanding of the Bible? The children of Israel or the other nations? See what I mean? Verse 25. And the gates of it, this is talking about the 12 gates of the gates of Jerusalem, of the kingdom of heaven, okay? Because there's 12 tribes. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there, right? Verse 26. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations unto it. Well, now, again, this is talking very general. What is that talking about? It's talking about their wealth, okay, which really belongs to us. Gold, diamonds, Anything that's precious, platinum, it's all coming to Jerusalem because it belongs to the children of Israel. Okay? So now, let's go and get a little bit more understanding. So this is Isaiah chapter 2. Let's start from the top, just to get some context. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. The word of Isaiah to the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. Again, you see, this is Judah and Jerusalem coming together to become the 12 tribes, the one nation again. So this is in the kingdom. This is after the destruction. This is the second coming of Messiah. This is going to be the rebuilding of Jerusalem. Okay? Verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days. Remember that we're in the last days, but this is already when it all happened. It all went down. That the mountains of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Because what's going to happen? Jerusalem is going to be the capital of the world. Okay, this is what this is talking about. Verse 3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. Now let's read that again. Because a lot of people think that, that he's my God. No. He's never been anybody else's God but the God of Israel. And here it is reiterating it one more time in the kingdom of heaven, okay? To the house of the God of Jacob. Whose God is it? The house of Jacob, the God of Israel. Okay? And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion, okay, out of Israel, the Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And like I said, we are going to be teaching the other nations the law, statutes, and commandments, because we're going to be kings and priests. We're going to be ministering unto these nations on how to walk perfect, because the law of the Lord is going to be the law of the land. Everybody's going to have to do the law, statute, commandments on that day, because the earth is going to belong to us, and those are going to be our laws. Anybody who breaks the law, statute, commandments, okay, they're going to have to get the penalty. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. We're going to judge the people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, right? Because there's going to be no more war anymore. And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Okay? Let's read a little bit more, because I know there's more meat on here. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and the soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please them, and the children of the strangers. See here it is where it mentions it. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures, right? Because we're going to receive everything precious belongs to the Israelites. The whole planet Earth, including you nations, are our belongings. So again, salvation or preservation. If you belong to me, it's different than I have no say in it. But we're not going to be equal. Okay? So the question should be, is the salvation that Israel can receive is going to be the salvation that the other nations going to receive? And that's a no. Because our position is higher. We're going to be the government body of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. These people are not going to be part of the government. Remember, they're the part of the government now. Remember, he who is first shall be last, and he who is last shall be first. And we're last here, so we shall be first in the kingdom of heaven. So if they're first here, what are they going to be? They're going to be last in the kingdom of heaven. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there no any end of the chariots, right? Because we're going to have all the goods. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 60 and get more understanding. See, because the scriptures really show you everything in little pieces, okay? This is Isaiah 60 and 10. So it's going to give a little bit more understanding about the position of these other nations. Isaiah 60 and verse 10, Salakia. And the sons of strangers, remember these are the other nations, shall build up thy walls. So the other nations are going to be what? Are people that are going to be working for us. We're going to have employees. Look up that word employee. Okay, if you don't know what the word employee, look it up. There's going to be our employees in the kingdom of heaven. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. So all the presidents and everybody that have survived, they're going to be serving us. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore the gates, remember we read about the gates in Revelation 21 and mentioned again, therefore the gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Okay, so all their wealth is going to be brought to Jerusalem. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, shall die. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. So again, there's going to be people that don't want to get with the program, and guess what? We're going to kill them nations. There's a better word that can be said. Kill them. Annihilate them. Be done with them. Verse 13, the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box tree, to beautify the places of my sanctuary, and I will make the places of thy feet glorious. Remember, that's talking about the streets of gold. The walls are going to be made of different stones, right? The sons also of them that afflict thee, that's talking about the other nations, okay? Specifically, so-called the Edomites, right? The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion, right? The monument of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through there, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. And here's another great verse. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles. What is that talking about? All their wealth. We're going to suck all their wealth, their gold, their silver, their platinum, their oil, all the resources that they have are coming to us. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings. And thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, am thy Savior. You heard that? So here's is very, very plain that the Lord is going to save Israel, but it's not mentioning the other nations. We're going to suck the milk of the Gentiles. But then what? Then I, the Lord, am the Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. So there. This verse says it. It talks about the Gentiles and the Israelites, and it shows you that we're going to take, okay, if I take all your goods and the Lord is going to save me, okay, what are you doing there? What's happening to you? Remember, you're submitted to me. You belong to me now. So you might be saved, but like I said, I would rather use the word preserved, so you can serve me. Because you're a belonging of me. See what I mean? Why would I want to destroy my belongings? Why do I want to burn my Nikes? Why do I want to burn my pants? Right? Again, verse 17. The brass and I will bring, for the brass and I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thy exactors righteousness. Okay, so now let's get to the point, the nitty gritty. Let's go to let me get that. Let's go get it in Isaiah 60. No, we already got this. So let's get it. Isaiah Salakia 14. Okay. And let's get it in the... Let's see. I guess we'll just get in the NLT. Let's see what the NIV and then ESV. The Lord will have compassion on Jacob. Once again, he will choose Israel and will settle them in their own land. Foreigners will join them and unite with them in the descendants of Jacob. Okay? So the Lord will have compassion on Jacob and will again choose Israel. And he will set them in their own land. And sojourners, strangers, will join them and will attach themselves to the house of Jacob. Okay, perfect. So that's verse 1. Let's go to verse 2. The nations of the world will help the Lord's people to return, and those who come to live in their land will serve them. Those who captured Israel will themselves be captured, and Israel will rule over them. Okay, so that's one version. See with the NIV. Nations will take them and bring them to their own place, and Israel will take possession of the nations and make them male and female servants. Okay, in the Lord's land, they will make captives of their captors and rule over their oppressors. So let's read the ESV. And the people will take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel will possess them in the Lord's lands as male and female slaves. So there you go. This is a better version, ESV. So they're going to be what? Male and female slaves. So are they really getting salvation if they're going to have to serve slavery in the kingdom of heaven? Again, I'd rather say preservation, because real salvation is promised to the nation of Israel. Okay? And they will take captive those who were their captors and rule over those who oppressed them. These are the people who oppressed us. Now we're going to oppress them. Remember, you reap what you sow. He who is first shall be last, and who was last shall be first. So here in America, we are not first. We're last. So in the kingdom of heaven, we shall be first. Remember, the Caucasian race are first here in America, so they shall be last in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? That's not hard to understand. And the Lord has given you rest from your pain and turmoil and the hard service which you were made to serve. Okay? NIV. on the day that the Lord gives you relief from your suffering and turmoil and from the harsh labor forced on you. So there you are. So we're going to have slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? You ready here, Isaiah 14. Okay? That's the good news, brothers and sisters. That's promised to you, because you can read all this in the good news, which the Messiah said the good news is Isaiah 61. So you can read Isaiah 61, and it's going to be mentioning these people are going to be working in our vineyard. So you know what? Let's just get that, because I don't want to leave anything partly open. So Isaiah 61, and this is what the Lord said the gospel is. Okay. So don't be mad at me, because it's mentioned in Luke chapter 4 verse 17. He mentions this. This is the gospel. And the gospel is not for everybody. So somebody lied to you. Okay? Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me. Remember, the only people that are anointed are the Israelites, which means a Mashiach. Right? Anointed me, or the word Christos. So really not everybody can be a Christian, because not everybody is anointed. Ooh, that's a burn, right? Because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, the slaves, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Not everybody's bound. So right off the bat, this gospel is getting exclusive. Verse 2. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance. Right? The day of vengeance of our God. Remember, the God of Jacob is not everybody else's God. To comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. This is not everybody's gospel. This is the gospel for Zion, aka Israel. Okay? Because this word Zion means monument. To Zion. Monument. Right? To give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garments of praise for the spirit of heaviness, and they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And they shall build the old wastes, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolation of many generations. And here's the nitty gritty. This is what we read, and this is in the gospel. And the strangers, the non-Israelites, shall stand and feed your flocks. These are our slaves. Get it right. Okay? This is their salvation. So if they want to say salvation, good. You're going to be picking cotton and cutting sugarcane 18 hours a day in my plantation. You want to call it salvation? Good for you. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. Okay, our slaves in the kingdom of heaven. But ye shall be named, but the Israelites, okay? But ye shall be named the priest of the Lord. Why? Because we're in the order of Melchizedek. Because remember, back in the time of Moses, they only had the Levitical priesthood. But now, all 12 tribes are going to be known as priests. Priests and kings, okay? But ye shall be named the priest of Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat. Here it is, and mentioned again, brothers and sisters. We just read in Isaiah 60:10. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles. Remember, we're going to suck the milk of the Gentiles. And in their glory shall ye boast yourself. And we're boasting now. We're telling you this is going to happen. You don't want to believe it? That's fine. We'll wait for the kingdom of heaven. We're really going to boast then. For your shame ye shall have double. Ooh, we're really going to enjoy that. Double bubble? Damn. And for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Right, we're going to be... We're going to be bold in it. Therefore, in their land, whose land? Their land, the Israelites' land, they shall possess the double everlasting joy shall be unto them. So, remember, this joy isn't mentioned for the Gentiles. This joy is mentioned to the Israelites. Why? Because the other nations are going to be cutting cotton, are going to be chopping sugar cane. There's going to be no joy in that. But if you want to call it salvation, it's all right. Okay? For I, the Lord, love judgment. I hate robbery, but burnt offerings, and I will direct their work in the truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant. Again, I told you that this everlasting covenant is only given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? So if you, like I said, you want to call that salvation, because that salvation is only promised to the nation of Israel, because those are the only people that have made a blood-in, blood oath covenant. Nobody else is mentioned there. And no, because you're a Christian and you belong in the church. No. The church is not Israel. No, you can't substitute. We're not going into these fake Swiss hole things that they created. Okay? These doctrines that they created, and now the church is Israel. No, we're not doing that. That's supersessionism. It doesn't exist. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles. So there you go. Our children, okay? And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord has blessed. See, he didn't say he blessed the Gentiles. This is in the kingdom of heaven. So get it straight, brothers and sisters. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God. Whose God? My God. For he has clothed me with the garments of salvation. Oh, brothers and sisters, we're going to receive that salvation that's finally promised to us. These garments of salvation are not for the other nations, but for the nation of Israel. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. Now there it is, brothers and sisters. That salvation that's promised to the God of Israel, the God of Jacob. Not everybody else is God. Okay? So, if you can accept that, okay, the kingdom of heaven, the doors of the kingdom of heaven are going to be open continually. Why? Because the wealth of the Gentiles shall come to us. Right? And our slaves are going to be working in our what? Vineyards. Okay? They're going to be our shepherds for our sheep. Right? Our cattle, whatever we have. They're going to be working in the fields. Remember, we're going to have massive lands. What do you like, brother? Oh, avocados, kiwis. Well, somebody's going to maintain all that. And it's not going to be us. Remember, we built up Egypt. We build up Babylon. We build up Assyria. We build up Persia. We build up the Medes. We build up Greece. We build up Rome. We build up Spain and France and Holland and Portugal. And we've built up America. All those kingdoms. And don't forget the missing kingdom that I meant, like China. Any great works that were done on this earth, the Great Wall of China is all made by the Israelites. Okay? So, yes, they're going to have to be building. Yes, they're going to have to be our servants, because we build up all their kingdoms. We have died in all their wars. And now, there's going to be no war. But somebody's going to have to what? Be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven, because remember, the Lord promised us that these nations will be our possession. Okay? That's Psalms 2 and 8. So that's it, brothers and sisters. There's no need to beat a dead horse. Again, salvation is promised to the nation of Israel. And these other nations will be in the kingdom of heaven. And they will be preserved as our slaves. You know, we want to have slaves, healthy slaves, you know, so they can serve us their whole life. And their children can serve us their whole life. Remember, that's what's promised to us. That's it, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand who really is going to receive salvation and who is going to be preserved. Who has been promised the robe of salvation for righteousness. Kol halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham Rakakadash. And he that have ears, let him hear. Shalom.